Hello from Safonovo. This is a podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about self-fulfilling prophecies, and let's start with the definition.
This term exists in many cultures, and people think that some words or some phrases couldn't be pronounced. For example, in the medieval times, it was one prohibited word. Everyone was afraid to pronounce it, and if someone was telling, this person was even could be thrown out of the city. And this word is plak. Chuma. It's okay to say?
That's correct, Plague.
Plak. If you, for example, will go to Vikings or some other strong armies, they were afraid to die without sword. And if someone was stealing sword, if someone was breaking sword, it was also like a prophecy that maybe you will lay in an unknown tomb. So nothing good will be for you in Valhalla. If we think in, for example, Slavic culture, you will find that people sometimes say, "Okay, never say that you will quit the job or you will break the marriage because it would happen." And sometimes, if something what was pronounced happens, people say, "Okay, this is a prophecy."
Well, probably the first question that comes into mind, like how those self-fulfillment prophecies were developed, because I doubt that there was like any statistic system, any like a proof system, but yet people would carry certain knowledge, people would pass certain knowledge, and maybe sometimes they would have like a good examples, like a friend of friend or relatives of relative or like a distant, like person actually did that and something bad or good happened to them. So how they were developed and carried over the years?
This is funny, but also not funny question from other side. And you know, the mechanics is very similar to our brain when we wake up. When you see your dreams, it comes in a very short period of time, like 4 seconds, like 7 seconds, and you have just random pictures in your imagination, nothing more. But our brain is trying to recognize what is pictured on these images, and then you will see something which is very close to your real life. Don't you see that you will never found in your dreams people or places where you have not been or which you have not met. So everything in your dreams is just familiar, or it is will be blurred. For example, if you think about Treasure Island, or maybe pirates, or maybe sirens, it would be very blurred. So everything which is clear is taken from your is taken from your eye literally. So some point of your life you haven't seen this tree, this bush, and this bench. The same would be self-fulfilling prophecies. If you will say something, okay, it may happen. If everything is lucky and you got the success, you will never remember it. Okay, it's just usual. But if you got unlucky, you will think about it more and more again. At this point, you will also recall, okay, I have told this, and then you will say, okay, I will never say my plans. Do not make God laugh.
And if we look into maybe, like a different types of the people or different groups of the people, they probably would also have, like something that actually they would stick to. For example, if there were like a warriors or clerics or maybe noble people or vice versa, like a peasants or maybe even slaves, there should be something that actually could be built around their culture. I don't know, like for example, if you would kiss your sword before the battle, you definitely will cut one head. So was there like any some sort of like a segmentation that like was around specific group of people?
Yes, for sure. If you are not a noble one and you wait for a husband, you should find a way how to meet some when you live in a small village. So you need to go to some marketplaces and you could say, okay, maybe I will find a husband. If you go to the battlefield, also if you will be attentive to your armory, if you will, I don't know how to say, sharpen your sword, точить.
Sharpened sword.
Okay, thank you. If you will sharpen your sword and you will pay attention to it, maybe you will be more successful during the war. If you, for example, are going to, I don't know, to summon people to build a new church, yes, you will think what to pronounce, and you will put together all of strengths of your mind. And if it will happen, yes, for sure, you will say, okay, it happened because I was even maybe given from the heaven some prophecy. Some people after drinking or after going out of clinical death, they think that they have something which they take from the world above. Sometimes we know the story from the history when people thought, okay, I will put a town on this hill, and then this town becomes a very huge capital of the wealth state. But how many camp were built, but they not converted to the even small cities. So it is nothing to say. It is like in a story with dolphin. Some dolphins wants to play with people and they push them, but not too many to the shores. Some will be taken to the middle of the sea and they will go down. So just survivors could explain that the dolphins are funny creatures, but it is not.
Now, actually, let's try to imaginary move into the office of the psychologist for some person who actually, would speak to you, and then you would tell them that I have to do something because, like for example, I have to check that my door is locked like 2 times because something happened. So I do believe people also tend to like create those self fulfilling prophecies, and how we should treat to that, because for example, one thing that I imagine, someone will tell you story and it could be like your customer, like the wealthy person, but they would have something quirk thing. Definitely last thing we want to do is like a laugh or like trying to convince them that it's actually not true. Depends. But how we should treat those people who would carry this luggage of like books of self-fulfilling prophecies written by themselves.
In our dentistry, there are several women psychologists which came to cure teeth, and they sometimes tell me a very funny story. There are some I don't know how to say um, short of girls. It's okay to say short of
uh,
girls.
Shortage of girls, if there is not enough girls.
No, no, I mean like a group, like a cohort.
Okay, so just, yeah, like a small group of girls.
There are some girls which will be interviewed and they will be asked how many you want your husband to earn, and they always will say like 1 million, 2 million, or something like this. And after 1 year or 2 year on the same spot, sometime would be the interview which was interrupted by some girl which would came and say, okay, and I was here 1 year ago and I asked for a husband for 1 million. Now I have husband and he earned just 100,000, but it's enough if I have a love. So, sometimes people do not want exactly what they want. And there is a very rude story about a Negro boy. He was very alone in his village, and then he was thinking, okay, there are so many stories about jinn, about fish which make wishes and so on. Maybe I could find something like this. And he was thinking, okay, which wishes would I make? Okay, I want to be a white. It is more pleasant to be white, have a white skin. Second, I want to see just naked girls. And third, I won't be always surrounded by women. And then he converted to be, I don't know how to say, unitaz.
Uh, I would say it's like a toilet vase.
And then he was converted for toilet ways. Or another story which more polite. There is a guy and he was wishing, okay, I want to spend all my money for beautiful girls. And then he got a wife and 5 girls, which were his daughters.
I do believe it's like for self-fulfillment processes. Try to, like look into them with a caution. Otherwise, it will be something that you could not really predict. So we review the skill and how it would be somehow helpful for you. So stay in peace.